David had always assumed the strange noises in his air shaft were from a bird's nest. The continuous rustling and occasional flutters suggested something common, or so he thought. Armed with a flashlight and brimming curiosity, he decided to investigate the source of the disturbance. Little did he know, this was the beginning of a revelation that would shake him to the core. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. At one point, David had enough. He was listening to the evening radio while cooking his dinner when he suddenly heard the rustling sounds again. He immediately turned the music down and listened carefully. He almost held his breath, so silent was he. He stared at the air shaft for minutes until he finally heard the sound again. "Gotcha," he said as he walked over to the spot where the noise had come from. He was certain this was the right spot, which was a bit strange as it wasn't close to the side of his house. Confused and intrigued, David decided to walk around his house to find the entrance to the air shaft. As he stood outside his house, he quickly walked to where his kitchen was, as that was where he had heard the noises. But when he arrived, he realized the entrance to the air shaft wasn't even there. How is that possible? He thought. He could have sworn the sound had come from the kitchen. David was getting more and more confused by the minute. So the possibility of it being a bird was getting smaller by the minute. David literally scratched his head as he looked at the air shaft. There used to be a little roster to keep the animals out, but that was now covered in dried grass and some kind of fluffy material. It actually really looked like a nest now that he looked at it more, but it couldn't be, could it? He quickly went back to his kitchen to get a garbage bag and some gloves. He had to clear away the grass and fluffy material, but didn't want to touch it, of course. He began to grab clumps of the strange fluffy material and stuffed it in his trash bag. Who could have done that? He was sure he wasn't the one. Knowing he couldn't stop until everything was removed from the air shaft, David kept going. He filled almost the whole trash bag, and even had to get a big spoon from his kitchen to reach deeper into the air shaft. But even after that, there was still stuff inside that he couldn't reach. David knew he couldn't do this on his own. He had to call someone. But who? Then he suddenly thought of something. Maybe the company that installed his air shaft could help him. He quickly looked up the company name and called them. David called the company, full of confidence they would be the ones to help him, but they told him to try somewhere else. They told him it wasn't their job to deal with strange sounds coming from the air shafts. "Try animal control," they said, and they hung up the phone. David sighed. He wanted to be angry, but that actually was a really good idea. David quickly looked up the number online and called animal control. It didn't take them long to pick up the phone. This time they told him he had called the right place, but it still didn't go smoothly. You see, it was fall, and during fall, it was crazy busy at animal control. Many people called them daily about bird nests needing to be removed or squirrel nuisance. They told David they could be at his home in about 2 hours. David told them that was fine, but deep down, he knew it wasn't. He wasn't going to wait that long. He quickly wrapped up the conversation, gave them his address, and got to thinking. In his garage, David gathered the necessary tools: a sturdy ladder, a screwdriver, pliers, and a powerful flashlight. His determination to uncover the source of the mysterious noises was palpable. Standing before the air shaft, David felt a mix of apprehension and adrenaline. He shone his flashlight into the dark opening, its beam cutting through the gloom. With a deep breath to steady his nerves, he placed a foot on the first rung of his ladder. He carefully removed a section of the wall adjacent to the air shaft, revealing the narrow passage hidden behind. He peered into the shaft, its depth and darkness now exposed, ready to unveil its secrets. He squeezed through the tight passage, his movements restricted, the closeness of the space testing his resolve and making him acutely aware of the daunting task ahead. Deeper inside the air shaft, David stumbled upon oddities that piqued his curiosity. The walls bore peculiar scratches, not random but almost patterned, as if etched with intent. Scattered around were items that seemed bizarrely out of place: a rusty key, a faded photograph, and a small tattered book. These findings seemed to suggest that the shaft had secrets far older and stranger than a mere animal's presence. In his intense focus on the peculiar finds, David inadvertently disturbed a crucial part of the shaft's structure. As he reached for another curious object, his hand brushed against a support beam. With a groan, it shifted, sending a cascade of dust and small debris around him. Startled, David realized he had caused a minor structural issue and the stability of his surroundings was now compromised. With quick, careful movements, he retraced his steps, navigating back through the tight, cluttered passage. Once back in the safety of his kitchen, David paused to catch his breath. His mind raced with thoughts of what he'd found and what he'd left behind. David knew he couldn't leave the mystery unresolved. He needed to find answers, but also recognize the need for caution and expertise. As the hours ticked by, David waited for animal control, hoping they could offer some insight or assistance. The arrival of the animal control officers broke the anxious silence. They approached David's house with a professional air, yet their expressions showed a mix of intrigue and skepticism. David led them to the air shaft, explaining the situation. They prepared to assess the scene, ready to unravel the mystery that had so deeply perplexed David. Despite their initial skepticism, the officers were visibly intrigued by David's account. They agreed that the situation warranted further investigation, their curiosity now intermingled with a sense of duty. The decision was made to delve deeper into the air shaft, uncovering its secrets piece by piece. Working in unison, David and the animal control officers began the careful process of disassembling the air shaft. Each section they removed revealed more of the shaft's interior, the tension mounting with every piece. With each piece they removed, the air shaft slowly gave up its secrets. The deeper they delved, the more the mystery deepened. The dim light from David's flashlight cast eerie shadows, revealing shapes that moved subtly within the confines of the shaft. With a mixture of trepidation and curiosity, they uncovered a hidden nook within the air shaft. From this concealed space, the source of the mysterious sounds became clearer and more distinct. What creature could be residing in this hidden corner of his home? As they peered into the nook, the mystery unraveling before their eyes was heartwarming. Nestled in a makeshift nest, a litter of tiny kittens lay huddled together, their eyes barely open. The source of the mysterious noises was revealed, not a sinister presence, but the gentle, innocent mewing of newborn kittens. The realization brought a smile to David's face, replacing his earlier apprehension with a sense of wonder and warmth. The animal control officers concluded that the kittens were likely born to a stray mother cat who had sought refuge in the air shaft. The presence of the innocent kittens transformed the air shaft from a place of mystery to one of life and hope. David felt a surge of relief and joy at the sight of the tiny creatures. Together, David and the animal control officers gently and carefully retrieved the kittens from their hidden nest. The animal control officers praised David for his determination and attentiveness. Their professional examination confirmed the kittens were healthy, albeit a bit undernourished. Motivated to ensure the well-being of the kittens, David reached out to his community for assistance. He contacted neighbors, local shelters, and posted on community boards, seeking support for the kittens. His efforts were met with enthusiasm, as people in his neighborhood and beyond showed a willingness to help. In the interim, David decided to become a foster parent for the kittens. He prepared a cozy corner in his home, complete with warm blankets, food, and toys. The story of the airshaft kittens resonated throughout the community, creating a wave of support and goodwill. People from all walks of life came forward to donate supplies, volunteer, and even adopt. The community's response was heartwarming, turning the kitten's tale into a testament to kindness and unity. David's discovery had inadvertently brought his neighborhood together, fostering a sense of community spirit and cooperation. One by one, the kittens found their forever homes. Each adoption was a joyous occasion, marked by smiles and tears of happiness. The families were carefully chosen, ensuring that each kitten would be loved and cared for. David felt a sense of accomplishment as he watched them leave with their new families, knowing he had played a part in securing their happy futures. Among the litter, one particular kitten had captured David's heart. This kitten, with its playful antics and affectionate demeanor, formed a special bond with him. After careful consideration, David decided to adopt it, making the kitten a permanent member of his family. The connection they shared was undeniable, a bond forged through the shared experience of discovery and care. The resolution of the airshaft mystery and the adoption of the kitten brought a newfound sense of joy and companionship to David's life. His home, once quiet and routine, was now filled with the lively presence of his furry companion. His house, which had once echoed with mysterious noises, now resonated with the sounds of life and love. It had become a sanctuary, not just for him, but for the little creature that had wandered into his life, turning the ordinary into something extraordinary. Sitting in his living room, David pondered over the extraordinary journey he had embarked upon. What had started as a quest to solve a simple mystery transformed into an adventure that changed his life. He felt a deep sense of gratitude for the unexpected turns that led to new beginnings. Looking at his playful kitten, he was reminded of how small curiosities can lead to significant changes. The entire experience had taught David invaluable lessons about kindness, compassion, and the power of community. He realized how a small act of curiosity and care had the potential to bring people together and create bonds of kindness. The outpouring of support from his community had not only helped the kittens, but had also strengthened his belief in the goodness of people. David learned to embrace the unexpected with open arms. He now saw beauty in life's surprises and the mysteries that lurk around every corner. The adventure in the airshaft, which began with apprehension, had unfolded into a beautiful story of discovery and compassion. It had taught him to appreciate the unknown and find joy in the unforeseen. With the airshaft mystery resolved and a new companion by his side, David looked forward to the new chapter in his life. His home, once a quiet place, was now filled with the warmth and energy of his furry friend. He felt excited about the future, eager to make new memories and experience the joys of companionship and care. The story concludes with David, enriched by his unique experiences, ready for new adventures. Whether it's solving mysteries in his home or exploring the world outside, he felt prepared for whatever life had in store. The journey with the kittens had opened his heart to the wonders around him, turning everyday life into an ongoing adventure filled with love, learning, and the joy of the unexpected.